when you go to jail, invariably in India, you evoke some amount of sympathy. Here, the situation was right opposite.
The Delhi voter is a dumb, self-serving, greed-driven person who wants freebies.
In a city like Delhi, not one new school, not one new college, and even when you talk about healthcare, that was talked about, highly debatable. So basically, this was only engaging a certain section, and that section has rejected them.
All of his people are against him. Did you see the way Atishi was celebrating on the day they lost?
We have an eclectic panel with us today to decode the Delhi voter. The Delhi voter has decided to break the pattern of voting for the BJP in one election and the Aam Aadmi Party in the next. What exactly has changed?
Thanks, Afrida. We're also going to discuss the larger implications of this Delhi election result for the rest of the country and for upcoming state elections. We have Bihar towards the end of the year. Joining us, we have a very eminent panel. Suhel, Seth, Managing Partner of Strategic Brand Marketing Consultancy firm Counselage India, also a best-selling author, TV personality, Tuhin, Sinha, National Spokesperson, BJP, and author, Shaina NC, National Spokesperson and leader of the Shivsena, Eknath, Shinde faction, also well-known fashion designer and social worker.
Let me then start with the lady. Shaina, of course, let me tell our viewers, is now with the Shinde faction of the Shivsena. Let there be no confusion on that. Shaina, just the straight question here. Why didn't the pendulum swing this time? What did the BJP do right and what did the AAP do wrong?
The AAP has only done wrong. That's the answer to your question. If you look at the track record, I mean, how much can you go on about freebies, subsidies, SOPs, and Suhel will bail me out on this one, that in a city like Delhi, not one new school, not one new college, and even when you talk about healthcare, that was talked about, highly debatable. So basically, this was only engaging a certain section, and that section has rejected them. On the other hand, you see the NDA, the track record of Prime Minister Modi, and I'm glad that Delhi has made history after 27 years where you have the same government in the center and in the state. And for all those who constantly believe that, you know, if you give freebies, subsidies, SOPs, you get great governance, I think that was a fallacy. You have to have the political will to deliver to the Labharthis.
I just want to add a quick point to that you do realize that also means that now the voters' expectation is that all that was wrong will be set right.
Absolutely.
The responsibility of
with
the
accountability
NDA, the BJP
and transparency, I'm sure. Yeah.
Tuhin, Sinha, I had a question for you. After this election result, can we confirm and establish that the RSS is important for the BJP to win an election? We saw before Lok Sabha, JP Nadda had made some statements saying that we are saksham, capable to do it on our own. RSS
Well, the RSS and BJP have a symbiotic relationship. The RSS, we look up to RSS for margdarshan. So RSS is not important from an election point of view. RSS is generally important in terms of setting the national discourse. And I think we have done it brilliantly post the Lok Sabha elections. Even prior to that, there were regular meetings and coordination happens between RSS and BJP all the time. Probably the media is not invited to them, and that is why you're not aware of it. But I think this Delhi election, I think there are larger things beyond the BJP-RSS equation. Aam Aadmi Party has been the biggest political scam in India, and I think that scam finally stands unearthed. Over-promising and under-delivering had been the hallmark. But I think even the last elections, in the last assembly elections, Arvind Kejriwal was extremely lucky to get 63 seats, because right after the election, the kind of attitude that he had shown throughout the COVID pandemic, where he basically disowned the people of Delhi, the Purvanchali as you call it. We had seen what happened at the border of Anand Bihar. We saw Delhi struggling for oxygen. So I think the anger had been building up right from then, the last 5 years. And I was in Delhi the whole of the week before the elections. I have never seen such anger against someone, against a political leader. When you go to jail, invariably in India, you evoke some amount of sympathy. Here, the situation was right opposite. People wanted him to be in jail. That was the level of anger that was present in the people of Delhi. So I,
I
think
want
that
to
speaks a lot
put
about
that to Suhel because I want you to be the neutral observer now. You
Not
heard
be,
the-
I am.
Yeah, you are. You are. So therefore, about the Kejriwal factor, which Tuhin has elaborately spoken about, the same Kejriwal factor, owing to which everybody else used to win, and he became the winning ticket. Now the same Kejriwal factor has taken everybody else down. But tell me, from the citizens' perspective, are people really voting for the image of the leader? Are they voting on the deliverables? How exactly did the Delhi voter decide to vote out up?
So let's start with the Delhi voter. The Delhi voter is essentially dumb. They are unintelligent people who have voted unintelligent people in the past. So don't give too much of credence to the Delhi voter's intellect. The Delhi voter is a self-serving,
You're willing to
selfish-
get trolled on this one, right?
Yeah, I don't care about trolling. That's you guys care about. I don't give a toss. The Delhi voter is a dumb, self-serving, greed-driven person who wants freebies. So for 10 years, the Delhi voter actually believed that this joker was going to do any work. You ask people, remember, a man is known by his precedents. He got rid of everyone who brought him to the fore, whether it was Anna Hazare, Yogendra Yadav, Shazia Ilmi, if you know, and all the rest, Ashutosh, Vishwas Kumar, all of them fell by the wayside. He was
Swati
nothing
Maliwal.
but a rogue. I don't want to comment on Swati, whatever her name is. I don't even know who she is. But basically, he was a rogue, and rogues take time to be identified and thrown aside. Will he be re-elected? Perhaps. Because our memory is short. Public memory in India is short. Remember, 1977 you threw out Indira Gandhi, 1980 she was back. So don't give too much of credence. Oh, you know, Indian voter is very intelligent. Bullshit. The Indian voter, by and large, is stupid. Now take Shaina NC. She was doing a great job in the BJP. Now she is Eknath Shinde in Shivsena. We don't know where the hell Shivsena is. Uddhav Thackeray is the
Hello.
Shivsena person. So it's all
No.
a khichdi.
Not at all, I haven't
Whoever
responded.
wins gets the support of political parties. A. B. I genuinely believe that Kejriwal could not put on the charade for longer than he already did. People were not angry with him. People were just disillusioned. Anger has a more telling. Anger means he would have been routed. He's still got 22 seats. So don't think he's been routed. A. B. He controls a border state, which is very worrisome. And this man was a rogue in every which way, using money that they were collecting in Punjab, traveling on the Punjab government aircraft with that comic Bhagwant Maan, who's the chief minister, as part of his entourage, so that they
Bhagwant
could,
Maan.
whatever his name is, Bhagwant Maan, whatever, Bhagwant Maan.
So on Bhagwant Maan, I want Shaina to come in because you know what the chatter is in Mumbai right now. The chatter is that the same thing that was done to Eknath Shinde of chipping him away from the Shivsena will be what the BJP will do now to your party. So
Absolutely
Bhagwant
not.
Maan will become Shinde 2.0.
First, let me please tell my dear friend Suhel that Eknath Shinde is a man of the masses. The way he has delivered when he was chief minister for 2.5 years, and let's not
So why
forget
is he not
Ladki
chief minister
Behan,
again?
because he didn't have the numbers. We didn't have the numbers.
He didn't
that
have the
was-
numbers then too.
Did you expect BJP to get 135? The fact is that numbers do count, and of course it is an alliance politics where we understand that if you are in as an ally continuing to work for the larger interest of Maharashtra, this has to be via consensus.
That poor chap, they've just taken him onto the disaster management committee.
no, they've put him back on.
That's what I'm saying,
FYI.
they've just taken him on. So if he was the leader of the
FYI,
masses,
he is not-
he should have been running the disaster
Let me
management
please
authority
say,
before.
the fact that we have on our individual accord 57 plus 3, that's 60 MLAs in Maharashtra is a force to
Why
reckon
did you
with.
leave the
But-
BJP?
but Shaina,
That's
what
another
is your
story
problem
which
in
we will have
admitting-
No,
over
but why
dinner.
did she leave the BJP?
I
to
have
tell you the
a
backstory.
conversation with you on a private lunch or dinner where we will discuss.
It's okay, you can have it
But
here
having said so, you asked if there's going to be a repeat. I just want to tell you that the AAP party is such a hypocritical party. It keeps saying कि आम आदमी के लिए. It's actually for the खास आदमी. You look at Mr. Kejriwal's own kind of entitlement, his shishwal, his constant commentary, where everyone is bad except him. And look at the condition of the Congress party. As they say in Hindi, कि उनकी नैया तो डूब चुकी है.
That
वो
I'm
तो
sad
कहेंगे
about.
ईडी सीबीआई सब कुछ यूज किया गया
No,
केजरीवाल
no,
को
that I'm
no.
saddened
के लिए.
about because I
So we
handled
have
Sheila
to-
Dixit's
yeah.
campaign. She was an outstanding
And we
chief
all
minister.
remember her for her
She did a
contribution.
great job. I remember I created the word Bhagidari, which was the partnership between RWAs and the government.
Yeah.
But it's the jokers in the Congress who let her down. If you remember, when she won her third term, they did not even announce her candidature as the chief minister.
Yeah.
Because there were jokers like Arvind Singh Lovely or whatever his name is, Lovely, Markin, all were fighting. The Congress is a disaster.
We'll come to the Congress
Yeah.
question.
No,
I
we don't
think
have to come.
Anushka-
They're a disaster. Don't waste your time on things that are irrelevant.
I think we were going to ask you this because we know you were associated with Sheila Dixit, but we will take that up again. Coming again to Tuhin Sinha. Next big election is Bihar, right? Talking about alliance politics.
That's
and-
also a done deal.
course.
Tejasvi can't get over the
Tejasvi
baggage
Yadav.
of his father. So he has tried time and again, and yet the baggage of his father continues to haunt him. So any which way we start with an advantage, Nitish is very firmly with us for the longest time, and he will
Firmly
continue.
is firmly.
And he will
You know,
continue. He will
firmly is
continue
very
to,
dicey
look
with
at the
Nitish.
issues where we are together. The Waqf Amendment Act, the way JDU has supported us, I think that should be a message for every political party that we are in together for the long run, and in right up to 2029 you will see this.
But the last two state elections, RJD was the single largest party, and BJP has never quite been in the
Yeah.
driver's seat in Bihar.
Never been a big
No, that's
player in
wrong.
there.
In 2010, rather, it was BJP. 2010, we won almost 80% of the seats. That was a mammoth victory. And BJP was in the driver's seat. We used to contest far greater number of seats than the JDU. But yes, of course, that we went separate ways. Then we came back. So obviously, but I think it's incorrect to say we were never in driver's seat. We used to contest more number of seats at that point of time.
It is
But Suhel, it's not
development-oriented.
healthy for this country to have one predominant BJP and everybody else reduced
Why?
to
Again,
nothing.
Again, you see,
You
you're
need
an
a robust
intelligent person,
opposition.
You're an intelligent
You
person.
need a
you're an
formidable
editor.
opposition for a democracy.
Why till 19
Let's
one
not
minute.
undermine that.
To hell with democracy. It's the worst form of government, but the only one we have. That's what Churchill said. Let me tell you about democracy. From 1950 to 1975, you had one major dominant party, Pan India, who
No, it's
broke
not
the
the healthy
Congress.
thing.
Indira
I'm
Gandhi,
saying. I'm saying
Kamraj
it's not
plan.
the best practice. You
Who
should
says?
ideally have a strong.
How does it
robust-
matter?
Because this is a pluralistic country. You want everyone
Again,
adequately
these are-
represented.
My dear,
That's
let
right.
me tell you, there is no pluralism, there is nothing. We are a mixed up country and we are running very well. The people of India, in their hearts, are secular. The people of India seek development. The people of India are not vicious, vile, and violent.
I agree.
That's the essence of India. If politicians want to go against that grain, they will lose. Why did the BJP lose Ayodhya after resurrecting Ram temple? Because people understand the difference between Ram and what is there served on your plate.
So that's a healthy sign, I would say.
But there's also a large Muslim
And
population
the
in that
opposition,
constituency.
will have
Again,
to
you're
earn
not
its
saying
way.
And was the
Muslim.
assembly versus
I'm
the
a great
parliament.
believer. I'm a great believer. I can create a temporary divide. I can say Hindu Muslim. You know who was the first person who created the divide? A person you venerate, Gandhi. Where was Gandhi ji
I agree.
on the intervening night of August 14 and 15? He was in Noakhali, which is now in East Bengal. He was not in Delhi. Why was he there? Oh, I must save my Muslim brethren. And I will congratulate the Muslims of India. And I have no business, I'm much inferior. But the Muslims of India have done yeoman service to this country. The Muslims of India have contributed in greater measure. We must salute, respect, and love them. Anyone who comes in that way will be shelved, will be cast aside. So I'm a great believer that the Indianness will reign supreme. But we will have these blips, a Kejriwal or whoever else, and they will fall by the wayside. The Indian ethos is far greater than the political discourse that we see today.
I hope you're right that the Indianness will reign supreme, that at heart, Indians are essentially secular. Moving on to another state, All right. Do you think Mamta Banerjee is going to be the next giant that BJP is going to
I
slay?
adore her.
Yes, I know
I
you
think
do.
Tuhin
she's a
should
good
also
human
answer
being.
that. Is
she's a
Mamta the
good
next
human
target?
being. Mamta Banerjee is a good
After
human
Kejriwal.
being. All said and done, the BJP tried to muscle their way. They even paid huge sums of money per voter. Tuhin
Didn't
also
work.
knows that. But I have only one issue with Mamta. Mamta has gone overboard on the appeasement of one community.
Tremendously.
Now that is not right. But give Mamta Banerjee credit.
So is now Mamta the next target? That's one bastion the BJP has not
Well,
been able to
every
break.
opposition
What
party is a
happens next?
target. Every opposition party is a target because we don't believe in ceding space unnecessarily.
Yeah,
you
why
know.
should they?
We're not
And why
that
shouldn't we
magnanimous
work
party
hard?
that we
Yeah.
once used to be. So we are very ruthless when it comes to you know our
But the regional
ideology.
forces are giving you that fight, right? I mean,
Of
you may
course.
have vanquished AAP, but
The point
TMC
is-
is a different ballgame. Bengal
No,
is a
TMC
different
was,
ballgame.
TMC was the biggest supporter of AAP in these elections, and by that logic, by that connection, TMC ought to also, go down that line because TMC is a party which it's a waning force, and Mamta Banerjee is responsible for the absolute loss of credibility that TMC has suffered over the years. One, the patronization of illegal migrants, of the vote bank politics which she carries out, but also as the Home Minister and the Health Minister of Bengal, she has presided over two of the most corrupt departments.
Yeah,
And
but
you saw
having
that.
said that, even you guys started your washing machine there.
Yeah.
Just before Shubhendu Adhikari joined, he was on a website saying that, corrupt. Then suddenly he joins, he gets clean.
Can I
Let
just-
me tell you, Jyoti Basu ran West Bengal from when to when? From 1977 for five
terms.
terms.
5
of
terms,
4
yeah.
terms.
No,
So
go on.
please don't think that, only one party has ruled, only one leader has ruled. People fall by the wayside.
Shaina, you wanted to come.
I just want to make a completely different point to both of you is that genuinely today is the politics of performance. Now, if you take Prime Minister Modi, the fact that 25 crore people have risen from below poverty line, you have had 13 crore toilets which are factually made. I mean, everyone knows. Look at the kind of infrastructure. You see a city like Mumbai, and the kind of development that we have had even in Maharashtra. So people basically judge you on your work. And the one thing about the BJP is that no matter what,
Just tell Mr. Shinde you'll call him back later.
I'm not, I've switched
Stop
it off.
bothering us.
No matter what, moment people know that you are going to deliver on ground and you're going to work hard. This is what the Congress party hasn't understood. Look at their lax approach post Lok Sabha elections. They thought, wow, we have, doubled our numbers. Arey, what have you doubled? You have to be consistent and you have to be at it.
But you have helped
which is
the
what the
AAP
NDA
salvage some pride by having Congress out of the way. Congress is looking at it as a win because they find AAP
Congress
is
is
an irritant.
delusional.
Congress
Congress
is not in the
irritant.
picture.
AAP is an irritant
Moment
for the
both
Congress
of you
party.
digest that the
Let's go.
Congress is not in the picture,
tell
we
you.
can have a.
But did Congress play
conversation ahead.
spoiler? Many would
That
argue
we
it played
don't know.
spoiler and as many
I mean,
as
you
24
remember the same
constituencies
comment
in
when we
Delhi.
used to have Maharashtra elections and we used to say Raj Thackeray
Now
and MNFs
Congress has
spoiler.
become BJP's
This
B
is
team.
not at
That's
all.
the most interesting.
No,
Correct.
these,
All this is
all
that
of these
rubbish.
opposition
It's only
parties,
all you
they,
media people,
Yeah,
all of
Congress
these-
is BJP's B
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Aam
No,
Aadmi
no,
is
it's
someone's
become,
B
it's
team.
become
Every
so
political party
cliched, it's
wants
become
their
so
space.
predictable
Because
now.
13
Before the
seats, it's not a
elections,
small
these
number.
opposition parties go out of their way to try and cobble up alliances, unnatural alliances. When they don't succeed, they start calling each other the B team. So AAP will call Congress the B team of BJP, and the Congress will call.
Tuhin, correct
AAP
me
the
if I'm wrong. My observation is this was an election for AAP to lose. The fact that BJP won was incidental. It was a vote
no.
against AAP. BJP won by default.
No, no.
All the micromanagement and the
You
election
know,
machinery that you unleashed, I understand. But even if you didn't, you would have won. Because the vote, the people had made up their
You're
minds
sounding like
against
the
AAP.
Chief Election Commissioner.
I have to do some
You're
balancing
predicting
act.
the results even
I
before
have to
they're
do
found.
some balancing act here. I'm saying this
No,
was
it's a
an
fact
election
that,
for AAP to
no,
lose.
it's a fact, like I
If you
mentioned,
just
even
happen
in
to be at the right
2000,
time at the
even
right
in
place, I feel.
2020, even in 2020, Arvind Kejriwal did not deserve the kind of mandate which he won. And post that, post 2020 February, every day he has taken his position for granted, whether it was on the right through the COVID crisis where he was busy constructing Sheesh Mahal. So I think, the anger was building up. Irrespective
Exactly
of
what
whether-
I'm saying. But for that, you have to concede that you didn't
She's
have
trying
to do
say it's
anything.
advantage position,
no,
but
we-
that's not the point.
we
You have to
work very
understand-
hard.
You have to understand politics in its truest
We don't
sense.
take anything for granted.
I worked on several campaigns across party lines because I work for a fee. I don't work for an ideology. Leaders lead by example, and those examples also include the optics.
Yeah.
You cannot have a leader who jazzes off during election time to whatever Southeast Asian country and then comes when he feels like. A, B. What has Narendra Modi done? He has removed the word entitlement from people's minds. A, B. Rajiv Gandhi died in 1989.
91.
91. Indira Gandhi died on October 31, 1984. If he died in 1991, from then till now, do you think the young of India even remember who he was? No. Do they remember Indira Gandhi? No. And Indira Gandhi contributed a lot to this country, as did Rajiv Gandhi. I've always said Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia, also contributed. I think Rahul has his heart in the right place. But perhaps he doesn't play the political game the way it's played. That is a risk you can't afford in the present environment. Because here you have a prime minister who's out there.
Hardworking.
No, whether hardworking or not, he's out there. If you open your eyes, you see him. If you shut your eyes, you dream of him or nightmare about
But
him.
that is
So the
because he has
communication-
appropriated the entire media space. Everybody is
Because you
bending
people
over
are willing to
backwards.
crawl when asked to walk.
We are
But
not.
hello,
But there are others.
where is
when you
Rahul Gandhi's
appropriate
IQ?
everything-
Would you even want to listen to what he says? Please tell me. The kind of figures he rattles off on in Parliament are so shocking. Do you know what he said? We won the Maharashtra election because there were 70 lakh new voters. First, though, his numbers are always wrong. The Election Commission of India has said that it was 48.8, and that is the first time voters who are anyway going to vote from Lok Sabha to Assembly. You are going to have the Election Commission do its work and its job. And there on the floor of Parliament, you make such preposterous statements that nobody is going to take you seriously or even want to vote for you if they had the choice. You talked about options. Let me please say, today you take a state like even Maharashtra. Let's talk about post Lok Sabha elections. What happened?
No, I think Mr. Shinde should have become Chief Minister.
I do too. I do too. Because he
Now you have truly changed sides, huh, Shaina?
he actually worked tirelessly between Lok Sabha to Assembly, we know, but of course, with all magnanimity, I'm a great fan of Devendra Fadnavis too, and I think that
And he's a good
Tuhin,
man.
I think you should
He's a
communicate
good
that
man.
to Mr. Fadnavis that Shaina has
Election is
sent
a,
out.
I've said
election.
both are
out this
great.
message.
Electoral democracy is a game of numbers. So
Yes,
whoever
it is.
gets
Absolutely.
greater numbers has a greater say.
Say and opportunity.
And we
both.
never promised
Rahul
Mr.
Gandhi-
Shinde. Mr.
Rahul
Shinde
Gandhi-
has been a great chief minister. He's a great human being, but we never promised him that you're going to be a chief minister for your
Yeah.
lifetime.
And let me
Right?
tell you, Rahul Gandhi may have his heart in the right place, but truth be told, he's intellectually.
No, I don't
innocent.
think he has his heart in the right place.
No, he's
I would
I
not
differ
agree
on that.
intellectually stunted. I would say lacks
stunted.
political
Not
acumen.
stunted.
No,
I use the
I-
word innocent.
Innocent.
My
Okay,
English
okay.
is
I-
infinitely better than most people. So
I
don't
was-
need
I
to
got
be-
worried. I had
don't
to
need
come in
no,
if it was-
I would never use a word like stunted.
Yeah. You
That
could
is
say-
for Bengal's growth, not for Rahul Gandhi's intelligence or the lack of it.
I think you should have made this a solo Sohel say.
I know, I don't know
We
why
have
that
one
is
already.
interesting.
Suhel, I remember in a previous interview I did with you, you said that Rahul Gandhi needs a Havan more than anything else.
No, I think, but I was saying it.
No,
in
but
jest.
why would you say he's got his heart in the right place? A
Yeah,
person
exactly.
who has
It's
desperately
very
tried to
fashionable
stoke caste
to
divisions in the
lambast
society.
Rahul Gandhi.
I
I
did.
agree. You did. It's very fashionable.
I didn't lambast him. I said he has his heart in the right. What do you want me to do? Erect his statue
No,
and bloody worship him 24 times a day?
But what I would say is that, I think Anushka wanted to ask this question about the raveries, right? We discussed this.
All of them are
fact
doing it.
that, tell us one by one, I
That's
think we
the
should do the rounds on whether ravery hai, welfare scheme hai, bribing the voter hai, kya hai?
In Delhi, right? The BJP has announced 2,500 per month to poor women under the Mahila Samruddhi
Samman, yeah.
right? Which they say they're going to implement very soon by March. AAP had announced a similar scheme which could not be implemented because Kejriwal was in jail. I think it was the Mahila Samman Rashi Yojana. So basically, they're both quite similar. Look at what happened in
Don't
Maharashtra.
call
The
them
Ladki.
freebies.
You know-
they are bribes. You are bribing the
That's
voter
what I
of
said.
India. So all these freebies is
For
bullshit.
us,
If
fiscal.
AAP scheme might have been implemented, maybe they would have got the edge. Who knows?
We have never been a great advocate of freebies, but the point is, till the time it is there, till the time it is a dominant factor in Indian politics, you can't not be a part
But
of
that
it.
is tragic,
Having
Tuhin.
said that,
That is
having
tragic.
said that, we will never compromise on fiscal prudence, on fiscal
agree.
discipline,
I
which
agree.
is where we are different from other parties.
Yeah, and
we
likewise
will
in
never
Maharashtra.
embezzle
That's a fact.
funds out of the SC/ST funds like the Karnataka government does to fulfill its fake commitments.
There
You
he's
will-
right.
But isn't Maharashtra in a deficit?
No,
All of
but,
them are,
so
but
you have to,
why do you think she's
there
here?
is a way
Look at
to,
the kind
you
of-
have to see it
Sitting
as a
in this
ratio
middle
between,
terrorist,
no, you have to see
wearing
these
a
things as
beautiful
a,
sari.
but any
adorned
which
in
way, you have
gold.
to see it as a ratio
How
between
is
the
it connected to
GDP and,
deficit?
the total debts. And
Okay.
that ratio is never out of hand in a BJP state.
I agree
That is
completely. And if
so,
you look at
so
Maharashtra,
in the first,
even,
just one
yeah.
second, in the first quarter of 2025, what did Maharashtra get by way of FDI? 70,000 crores, which is the highest in the country. Highest FDI,
But let's see
53%
it
of total.
translate.
So
Everyone during these summits gets 100,000 crores.
In
After that,
MOUs.
ghanta milta hai. So let's see.
But
Yeah,
look
There are
actually,
at
more
yeah.
business summits than traffic lights in India.
Devendra Fadnavis has announced, and I will quote, that Maharashtra will be a $1 trillion economy, the first state to achieve this target, and the numbers that are flowing in. So to answer your question, yes, of course you have to play checks and balances. Even if you look at Ladki Behna Yojana, I will say with pride, you know how many women have given up the scheme saying that we have now empowered, or somebody who has said that no, I think that it's not deserving of me to get this kind of 1,500 or 2,100 from the government, and they have chosen to do absolute scrutiny. That's where we stand apart from other governments, where there is that political will to ensure accountability, transparency in any scheme.
So we're still calling it a bribe.
It is.
You know what is said, and this is probably one of the closing rounds we can do now, is that the BJP has its strategy worked out. There is a certain section of the electorate that it has decided to mollycoddle with welfare schemes, Labharthi. There's a middle class which is radicalized, and then there is the upper class which
Read
doesn't
Pavan
vote.
Verma's book, my dear.
Which doesn't
The middle
vote.
class is
So
the
you
most
are
selfish
sorted,
class
but how
in this
long
country.
will this carry on? How long will this sustain? Is the
Not
question.
long as they
very
keep
long,
winning.
because India is the speed at which people are empowering themselves in terms of financial inclusion of so many sections. I'll just give you Maharashtra as an example because it is the last round. You know, women, you look at the Labhartis, 2.5 crore women have benefited and are empowered. You look at the youth, the internship schemes that have come in, the pension schemes for the senior citizen. As the Prime Minister says, there are only 4 vote banks left, which are women, farmers, am I right?
Yuva-
The
Yuva and
the
Kisan.
Kisan. And all 4
Farmers and
segments.
Kisan are the same thing.
No, I
Poor,
said
poor,
poor,
poor.
Labharti.
What
So
about
the
people
point-
like us?
Nothing.
You're
We're
very
poor.
empowered. We can
I'm
take
poor.
that too.
Privileged.
So
Just
I
one-
think
yeah.
that's the difference.
Just want to bring up one more thing regarding Delhi. It's a governance structure. Don't you think that has created complications as well? Given that section 239AA or whatever
No,
the
no.
constitution
Let me-
says, you have an LG. You
Yeah.
have 3 power sectors.
Let me tell you. When Najib Jung was the LG, Kejriwal was the Chief Minister. Kejriwal would abuse Najib Jung. Najib Jung has just mentioned that Kejriwal did all kinds of roguish
Yeah.
activities. So now you'll say, oh, Congress, Najib Jung is like you, woke liberal.
No, but then
A,
nothing
B.
succeeds like success, nothing fails like failure.
This
Now
is
that
not-
will
no,
sell.
You can't make sweeping esoteric
Of
statements.
course, I didn't say this.
So then fine, if nothing succeeds like success, then why do we have this panel discussion? They won.
I'm just
That's
saying,
all.
convenient to
Vada pav khao.
convenient to talk
Maharashtra is
about
in good shape.
Kejriwal like this.
Is
now.
it?
Anyway, carry on. No,
That's what
finish
she
your
says.
point.
My whole thing is that let's not worry our pretty little heads ki, oh, ye hoga, wo hoga. The electorate in India is selfish. It is greed driven largely. You talk about the middle class. please read Pawan Verma's book written 20 years ago called The Great Indian Middle Class. He has done a perfect analysis of how greedy and self-serving the middle class is. So don't put, as my late grandmother would say, latus, bulbs on people. Hammam mein sab nange hote hain. When you go to a Turkish bath, you're not wearing a tuxedo. So don't imagine that, oh, this party is better. They're all the same. Only difference is BJP is a political party. The Congress is an NGO. When the Congress decides to become a political party again, we will meet in the salubrious environs of the Free Press Journal terrace
Thank
and
you.
have some
As-
miserable coffee
as
without
is-
any eats.
As is the
We offer you
Shivsena.
eats.
As is the Shivsena.
I think we should take one last round on the three big takeaways from the Delhi election, because we've just got a mandate in favor of the BJP, nothing to take away from that. You go first. What are the three big?
Well, I think in future, politicians would shudder to mislead people.
Correct.
Kathni or karni mein jo antar hota, like you say, that will not exist. They will be serious about fulfilling their promises. That's the biggest takeaway I can think of.
Shaina?
I think trial and tested, because if you've seen the Prime Minister and the way the NDA has performed in not just the centre but also the states where they are ruling, it is trial and tested, and you know that there is a performance. When you need that political will to deliver what you're saying, rather than just falsely pretend to be this hypocrite who is so armed when you are so khas. And the Sheesh Mahal is an example.
This is it.
The takeaway is that people are not interested in just rabid and rapid promises. Ultimately, the truth will prevail and your fraud will be shown up. It took 10 years, but it's better late than never.
What is your take?
And also,
Anushka? I want
mind
to
you,
ask
just
you.
one
Yeah.
second, Arvind, it's going to be very difficult for Arvind Kejriwal to bounce back because, all of his people are against him. Did you see the way Atishi was celebrating on the day they
I mean,
lost?
she won by a narrow margin.
But
to
look
be
at the
fair.
people
I
who
think the
lost.
messaging was
Manish
very
Sisodia,
clear. They would
Arvind
either form a
Kejriwal,
different party
Gopal
or-
Rai,
She's going to join
Sat-
BJP, Atishi.
cares?
Not that she's not
Jain,
invited.
Somnath
She's
Bhasin,
not-
all
She's
have
not
lost.
invited.
Well,
These guys will eat her alive.
well, Afrida, you asked me my
Yeah.
takeaway. So what I started with, I don't know, Tuhin, I don't know if he agrees with me, but I still believe that the Parivar needs to stick together. RSS is an important part in election campaigning.
Of course
They
they are.
run a
But why do you-
silent but strong campaign, and I think that has made a big difference in
The umbilical
Maharashtra,
cord is
Haryana,
intact.
and Delhi.
But why
has
should
made
it
a
not be?
difference.
Why you guys worried about their relationship? They are not worried.
Their
But
leaders
the
have come out
takeaway-
and said that
Let
we
me
are
tell
now
you, let me tell
liberated.
you,
It's
the
dehyphenated.
The RSS is not new to Indian society. BJP is no longer new to the Indian political ecosystem. If they can work together, good for them.
Why not? And
They-
they're working
listen,
in national
Narendra
interest.
Modi's job is not to go to Khan Market looking for an opposition. His job is to win elections. If Afrida Ali can help him win an election, so be it. If Anushka Jagtiani can help him win an election, so be it. Shaina was going to help him win an election, she crossed the other side.
I was just comparing between Lok Sabha and state elections. It was a difference. I think that RSS pulling its weight more in state elections made a big difference.
That's and for your information,
not?
this is the first time ever in the history of RSS that RSS has even come out to ask people to vote, be it Haryana or
And more
Maharashtra.
power to the
But
RSS.
I stick to what I said. The BJP's win was incidental. The people had made up their minds. It was an anti-incumbency vote. I allow all the gloating on BJP's win. I mean, sure, be my guest, you are. But I still would say that people had made up their minds, and I would take the points from all three guests that there was a certain charade
we don't
which
want
the
you to
people
agree with
didn't
us.
buy into
You disagree.
anymore.
You
The
disagree
arm
with
to
us
caste
violently.
point, I agree.
See, Afrida, we don't mind you disagreeing as long as you are not disagreeable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice play of words. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank
for
you.
Anushka
Thank you.
as well.
Thank you.
Anushka.
Thank you for
Thank you,
this
Anushka.
lovely
Thank
you. Thank you.
atmosphere
Thank you.
in Mumbai.
See you all again after
Yes.
the Bihar
pleasure.
elections.